Before today's video starts, I need your ideas for Community Canyon. I'll be getting the park in the next few days, so we do need ideas. I've got a few ideas already, but we still need a coaster, we need flat rides, we need shops and storylines, of course. Now the overall theme for my area of Community Canyon is a fishing town, much like Iceland at Europa Park, so do keep that in mind when suggesting your ideas. Now sit back and enjoy today's Alton Towers video. Good afternoon everyone and welcome back to Planet Coaster Alton Towers. Today we are moving on from Oblivion Station and we're going to be moving to X-Cite, which used to be Oblivion Shop, but of course now it's just the arcade of X Sector and it's also got Oblivion's on-ride photos in there. I'm not going to be doing the interior of X-Cite and I'll get into why in the time-lapse. So yes, if you do enjoy these daily Planet Coaster Alton Towers videos, then please do consider subscribing because it helps out the channel a lot more than you think. With that being said, let's get into today's time-lapse. So then we're starting off today's video with doing all the foundations and all the terrain for X-Cite and Excel. Well, I mean that's what Oblivion Shop used to be called really. Well, what remains of Oblivion Shop really, Excel. But yeah, just building up all the terrain, and X-Cite is kind of on this sort of raised up area of X Sector. It's at the top of the hill, but then it raises up a bit more. So it is kind of in an odd position compared to the rest of the terrain, and here just doing all like the back of X-Cite. I thought it was just one rectangular building, but no, you've actually got that bit on the back, the green building. I'm not really sure what it is, it's just some staff behind the scenes things most likely. But yeah, the main X-Cite building is just a rectangle, and I mentioned that I wasn't doing the interior. Now I have good reason for this. Reason one, I couldn't really find any good photos of the interior of the shop and the arcade and the on-ride photos area, and to be honest, it's a good idea to keep the piece count down. So what I'll be doing instead, I'm just going to put the in-game shops in there, like say let's just put Hats Fantastic in there or just a memento. So yeah, it's just keeping the piece count down really. I'm sorry I have to do something like that. I assume most of you don't really care that much about X-Cite, but at the end of the day, it has to be done really. So, you know, here I'm just doing the roof using those same pieces I used for Oblivion Station and Oblivion's maintenance shed as well, because these pieces are actually really good. I love these pieces so much, they're so realistic, and they're just one piece. You know, before Team TK and before these pieces came onto the Team TK workshop, I remember I used to use like wooden pillars and make a roof like that, and it would be like 50 pieces just for one piece of roof, and it's just, oh, the Team TK workshop is so good. So here I'm actually starting the facade of X-Cite. Of course, X-Cite does look like an actual building, but yeah, it's just a facade, these white columns that go along, and the actual building is just, it's similar to the maintenance shed of Oblivion. It's kind of just a steel corrugated building with a warehouse roof and, you know, just the usual stuff. But I wasn't actually aware that this was just a facade. I generally thought this was the actual building at first, and then I looked at a drone shot for this video to do this work in Planet Coaster, and I was like, oh, it's a facade. I genuinely had no idea that X-Cite was a facade. I really did not know at all. That's how good Alton Towers did this. And yeah, it's so weird because like Oblivion Station I've lost my words here, I'm really sorry, but Oblivion Station isn't a facade at all. You know, that's a proper, Smiler Station is kind of a facade, but most of it is part of the actual building. But yeah, just spacing out these white columns all around here, trying to get the measurements accurate as well. I'm actually using the rulers now to get those white columns at the direct center, just to make it more accurate and make it more realistic, of course. Now whilst I'm doing this work, I actually want to talk a bit about what happened yesterday. Of course, Alton Towers reopened yesterday. They reopened the park grounds, but of course none of the rides were open and areas were blocked off, and Theme Park Worldwide uploaded his vlog about going back to Alton Towers and showing everyone what it's like and everything. So of course they're doing the temperature checks at the entrance, and the facial masks are optional, but it's kind of a bit odd that they're optional. Like every other theme park in the world has made them mandatory, so it's kind of weird that Alton Towers aren't making them mandatory. And yeah, they put down markings in all the queue lines for the rides and everything, ready for when the park reopens next month. Well, they hope to reopen next month. It's not a set in stone date, that is. I mean, things could change, it could get pushed back, really. But 4th of July is the earliest that Alton Towers can fully reopen, really. And it's kind of interesting that they haven't gone down the route of getting some sort of feature on the Alton Towers or app and making it so you have to reserve your ride time like a few other theme parks have done. Instead, you are literally just going into the queue like normal, but you still have to distance yourself. So it's kind of going to be interesting to see how that plays out. Of course, the park capacity is reduced majorly, so queue times won't really be affected by the new measures or anything. I imagine the queue times will just remain the same, to be honest, because you got to think, yeah, there's less people in the park, but then they've also got to stop the rides very, very frequently to clean down all the trains and clean down the restraints, especially for stuff like Duel and Battle Galleons, where you know, people have been touching the guns for Duel and Battle Galleons, and they need to be cleaned probably after every single use. Another thing I noticed yesterday with Alton Towers reopening, and something I actually find quite funny, is that Marmaliza's screen was turned on, even though the entire area of X sector is all blocked off, it's all closed and everything, and it seems like that screen has actually been turned on this entire time that Alton Towers has been closed. My theory is that the Marmaliza screen is somehow connected to the ride system, so maybe when the ride system is turned on, then the screen's turned on. I honestly don't know, but that screen is turned on all the time. I never really see it turned off. It's so bizarre how this entire time Alton Towers has been closed, that screen's been turned on. Why? Why is it being turned on? It's a waste of electricity. And here I'm actually starting a really weird bit of theming I had no idea was here. It's this kind of sort of circle thingy mabob, I really don't know. It's very steampunk style as well. I didn't put all the details in because this is mainly going to be covered up by trees, but I think it had something to do with Black Hole, because Black Hole, in when X Sector was first opened, was made into like a steampunk sort of theme. I think it always was a steampunk sort of theme, but especially the station for Black Hole, it had a lot of steampunk elements in there, and so I think that's what that circle thing is representing there, is Black Hole's theming. Now of course, starting all the scenery that goes underneath the lift hill. And I'm actually using these wooden pillars to sort of outline where I need to build the rocks. I raised up the billboards just to get a rough outline. I must actually say, I don't think I've said this yet, but those billboards aren't accurate. They are there as a guideline only. I don't use them accurately, really, because they're not detailed enough to be used accurately. They are just simply a guideline, and I put stuff like wooden pillars down to show me where to put the rocks and everything that I'm going to be doing in a minute. And here I'm actually doing this fence. I have no idea why this fence is here, because this is just some random fence in the middle of bushes and trees and scenery. Why is it there? Because there's no way on earth it's stopping people from getting into the ride area, because it's a really low down fence as well. I really don't know, it's just kind of weird. It is a bit weird that there's just a random fence like that there. And so yeah, I'm actually going to leave you now. You've only got about another minute left of the time lapse, and we'll be going into the cinematics. But of course, thank you very much for watching today's video. If you have any ideas for Community Canyon, of course, the theme I'm going to be going with is a fishing town theme, much like Iceland at Europa Park. So if you have any ideas for that, please list them down in the comments. And of course, if you're not already subscribed and you enjoy these daily Planet Coaster Alton Towers videos, then please do consider subscribing, because it helps out the channel a lot more than you think. And with that being said, I'm going to sign off now, so I'll see you all in tomorrow's Alton Towers video. Goodbye.